to the X-Centric Collector channel. I'm Talent the X-Centric Collector, and today we're going to be covering Professor X in his Warlord outfit from the Shire Empire. Let's get into it.
Cerebro Online.
Cerebro, pull up file Warlord Professor X Retro Card 2024.
Accessing file. Warlord Professor X. Retail price $24.99. Aftermarket price high $46.95. Low $16.50. Accessories: alternate hands, alternate head.
This is an Xavier I never would have guessed would have gotten a Legends figure. It came out about the same time as Lilandra, so it makes a lot of sense. It was a Walmart exclusive and not part of any wave. It was released on a retro card, which is always cool. I love retro card packaging. Takes me back to the 90s Toy Biz days, way before Legends were even a thing. This figure came with an alternate head and alternate hands. Let's take a look at Warlord Xavier out of the package. Okay, here he is, out of the package and in hand. And we'll get some close-ups here of the face. You can see the whited out eyes behind the helmet, which is an awesome touch. That very typical Shire style mask. It kind of even hides what species is under it. It's got a lot of those blue washes going on in here, which really add to the chrome looking effect on it. The paint lines on the suit are really sweet. It's a very basic design, but it definitely looks like the character in the comic book, which is, you know, the Warlord version of Xavier when he was out there in the Shire Empire. He comes with two-fisted hands as well, which I haven't decided in my display whether I'm going to go with the ooh, I'm using my mental powers on you, open hands, or like fisted. I'm really not too sure. This is definitely going to my Cosmic X-Men shelf, right next to Lilandra. Let's try popping the head off and see what it looks like. Oh, look at that. So the cape and shoulder piece is one giant piece, which is cool. Slide that on. I don't know how I feel about this Xavier head. If I were going to use this one, I might like maybe put it on the Onslaught body, and that could be a cool look. But there he is without the helmet on. Let's see, he's got this again. It's a very devious expression, I'd say. But it's always good to have another Xavier head because you can get a suited body to stick it on. And I got a few wheelchairs, so. But yeah, well, pretty standard Marvel Legends. The articulation is pinless articulation, so we are looking good on that. Yes, wide range of motion. These figures, the new articulation on them is so fantastic. I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. I am going to control you. Or better yet, let's give them the line from X-Men 97. Class is in session! That was hilarious. Yeah, this is a great looking figure. I am very pleased with this. I am looking forward to having him in my Cosmic display. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. He's so much cooler like this, in my opinion. But yeah, fantastic looking figure. Okay, let's take a closer look into the history of Warlord Professor X.
Warlord Professor X. First appearance, Uncanny X-Men number 269, 1990. Created by Chris Claremont. Writer, Jack Kirby. Artist,
Most X-Men comic collectors may recognize this version of Xavier from the Uncanny X-Men number 275 cover. However, his color scheme on the cover is different than the look on the pages in the book, which is the actual look of the character, hence the look of the figure. In this storyline, the mysterious Warlord is leading the Starjammers on their way to the Royal Behemoth flagship in order to restore Lilandra to the Shire throne, which had been usurped by her sister Deathbird. The Imperial Guard, under the control of Deathbird, had taken the X-Men hostage, but when the Starjammers arrived, they defeated Deathbird and the Imperial Guard.
and it's revealed that Warlord is none other than Professor Xavier. Xavier became Warlord in the comics in a very similar manner to how it was portrayed in X-Men 97. He was injured by an anti-mutant hate group and taken to space to recover. Let's take a look at Warlord, aka Professor X's powers and abilities.
Powers and abilities: telepathy, telepathic illusions, telepathic cloak, mind link, telepathic camouflage, mind blast, mind control, mind possession, mind alteration, mental amnesia, psychic wave manipulation, mental shield, psionic blasts, mental detection, mind transfer, absorb information, telepathic learning, omnilingual, astral projection, genius intelligence, military training, expert fighter.
It's well known that Professor X is the world's most powerful telepath, but I don't think people realize what all that entails. So let's break it down a little. His telepathy allows him telepathic illusions, which basically grant him the ability to make people see whatever he wants them to see. A telepathic cloak, making him virtually invisible to most sentient beings, including the most powerful of telepaths. He has a mind link which allows him to connect his mind to anybody else's. A telepathic cloak, a telepathic camouflage very similar to the cloak ability. Basically, it makes him appear as though he isn't there. He can control, possess, and alter people's minds as well as give them amnesia. He has psychic wave manipulation, which means he can give his psionic power enough physical substance to affect the material world through his telepathy. He's been seen using this ability to take out a sentinel by basically blasting it a great distance away from himself with his thoughts alone. His mental shield is a psychic barrier to protect himself from other minds. His psionic blasts are force bolts, which have no physical effects but affect the victim's mind, which causes pain and unconsciousness and can even cause death. His mental detection allows him to sense the presence of other superhuman mutants within a small but undefined radius. His mind transferal ability allows him to transfer both his mind and powers into other host bodies, as well as transferring others' consciousnesses into different bodies as well. He's capable of absorbing information like memories and knowledge instantaneously from anyone he chooses, which leads to the next power, telepathic learning. He can gain all knowledge and information from one subject and retain it for himself as well as grant it to others. Another byproduct of his psychic abilities is that he is omnilingual. He can communicate with any individual regardless of language barriers, and like most psychics, he is capable of astral projection. He can travel anywhere in the universe via astral plane and affect the minds of anyone and anything that is sentient. On the astral plane, Xavier has no equal. Although it is not often shown, Professor X has a low-level telekinetic ability, which allows him to affect physical objects with his mind. He is also a genius intellect and has military training, and he has studied many forms of martial arts, which has made him an expert fighter and hand-to-hand combatant. Now let's see how he ranks on the grid. Cerebro, please pull up the power grid.
Accessing power grid. Analyzing subject.
As always, I want to remind you can check these power grids out on marvel.fandom.com or on the backs of various Marvel trading cards. First up is Strength. He's at a 2, normal human. Without the aid of his powers or his Warlord suit, Xavier has normal human strength. It should be noted that the Warlord armor gives him enhanced strength, dexterity, and durability, as well as giving him the ability to walk again. But at his base level, he's at a 2, normal human. On to Intelligence, he's at a 5, genius level. They don't call him Professor for nothing. Although his mental abilities have aided him in learning all manner of subjects, even without those psychic powers, he is still a genius. Next up is Speed. He's at a 2, normal human. Nothing in his power set grants him the ability to move any faster, but as I mentioned, his Warlord armor gives him a slight boost in speed. Moving on to fighting ability. He's at a 3, black belt martial artist. Having studied many forms of combat, has come in handy when mentoring his X-Men. One has to be a proficient fighter in order to defend the world and protect oneself against those who hate and fear them. On to durability. He's at a 2, normal human. He's just as durable as you or me. He could likely take a punch in a casual bar brawl and be okay, but if he gets hit by someone with super strength, he's likely to be knocked out or worse quite easily. Luckily, he has his X-Men to back him up. Next, we have Agility. He's at a 1, and this should come as no surprise. He is less agile than your average person because he's paralyzed from the waist down. Being confined to a wheelchair greatly affects his agility, but who needs to be agile when you have the most agile mind in the universe? And on to our final category, Energy Blast. His energy projection is at a 5. Fission, atomic. As I said earlier, his psychic wave manipulation attack turns psionic power into physical substance that can affect the material world. These manifest as powerful blasts. This brings a whole new meaning when someone asks, "What are you gonna do? Shoot me with your imaginary gun?" Yes, he will. Although he doesn't often use it, if threatened, Xavier can inflict such blasts, and those blasts are liable to take out most of his opponents. Looking at his overall stats, it may appear that Xavier is dramatically underpowered, but looks can be deceiving. It's not necessarily how many powers you have, it's how you use them. With his intelligence and energy projection being at a 5, that alone makes him a formidable mutant. Add in his above average fighting ability, he's definitely somebody you don't want to mess with. With his average strength, speed, and durability, and his below average agility, it's best that Xavier stay out of direct combat and rather take the fight to the enemy with his mind. And although Magneto may be right a lot of the time in doubting humanity's intentions, it is Xavier's boundless optimism and belief in humanity that is the driving force and the heart of the X-Men. In my opinion, whether he's Professor X of the X-Men or the Warlord of the Shire, there is no one more capable of leading his team to victory. If you guys want to see Warlord Xavier in action, definitely go back and check out those Uncanny X-Men issues or watch X-Men 97 Life Death Part 2. There you can get a good look at him in his suit of armor. And speaking of X-Men 97, Cerebro, let him know.
Be sure to check out X-Men 97 Reactions with Talon. Don't forget to subscribe.
All of my X-Men 97 reactions are up and available for you to watch, and please remember to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and share. Every click goes a long way to helping the channel grow, and I greatly appreciate it. That's all for today. I'm Talent the Eccentric Collector reminding you, keep collecting, and until next time, Excelsior!